Good day, one and all. My name is Kathy, and welcome to this episode of the Scrap and Crafty Gardener. I hope everyone out there is staying warm and safe this time of year. Today, I'm going to make a masculine. I'm going to make it a birthday card, but you could also use it as a sympathy card. Just change up your sentiment. I will be using, pardon me, photo paper. This is just 4x6 photo paper, and I have tons of it. I'm going to use alcohol inks on that. I will also be using GinaK's Elegant Thoughts. I'm going to use the Happy Birthday stamp and the matching die. And I'm going to be using this Simon Says stamp, GinaK Designs. This was the Stay Cozy Images. So let me get started. The first thing we're going to do is make alcohol ink. Now my card is going to be ivory. It's an ivory base, and this is going to be a vertical card today. This measures 10 inches by 7 inches, scored it at the 5-inch line, folded it, creased it with my bone folder. And then this photo paper is going to get cut down once I do what I'm going to do with it. So I have a piece of brown cardstock. This measures 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. And then I have another piece of ivory, and it doesn't matter if it has smudges in the middle because this is going to cover it. This ivory measures 4 inches by 6 inches and will go here. And then this will get cut down to 3 3/4 by 5 3/4. Now, if you wanted to turn this into a sympathy card, I thought if you substitute out the brown for a large 4 3/4 by 6 3/4, put that and then these two pieces, this will give you a big black border, and I thought that would look kind of nice. But I'm making a birthday card today, so I need to get started with the alcohol ink because that's going to take a little bit of time. I put a piece of parchment paper or baking paper down. You don't want to put waxed paper down when you're using alcohol inks because the alcohol inks will soak right through the wax paper and onto your surface. Wouldn't matter here because I have a glass surface. All right. To do my alcohol inks, I just have this old, this is a Tim Holtz stamping platform, and it has the Velcro on here. And I don't buy any more of the replacements. I just use plain white craft felt that I cut down to size to fit there. Now I'm going to make a little bit of like water down here with a little bit of grass and then a sky. So I'm going to start, I've got sailboat blue. And I'm just going to put some blue on here and then just smear it around on my photo paper. I don't want a lot of blue. I'm going to put a little bit more on. Pardon me. Now I'm going to come in with a little bit of stone washed, which is a darker blue. And I'm just going to kind of like swipe it across here. And that will pick it up and just kind of fill this in a little bit. And I want it to look like water. So having the swirls and the streaks kind of makes it look like water. Now, right above the water, and I'm going to use the same dauber for this. I'm going to use Botanical, which is a green. This is where my grass is going to come in at. And I'm just going to use a stripe right across the top. And I'm going to bring some of that down into the blue. And I think that looks good for my green grass. It looks a lot darker on camera than it really is. It's a, pardon me, reminds me of a shamrock or a clover green. Now, I'm going to take this pad off. If you had more of these stamping things than I do, I just have the one rectangle. You could just have the different colors needed. Now, I'm going to come in with some sunshine yellow. And I just want to swirl across the top. So I'm just going to, yeah. And that's what happens. You can get dots all over, and that is okay. It looks good, actually. this is where I want the sun to start coming up at. That's going to stay like that. Now I'm just going to come up in here, and I want to do this corner because this is where I want like the sun or the moon to be. All right. Now I'm going to add in some honeycomb. And you can just have fun. I mean, you can just take this and make dots if you want. Just take this and dump it right out on your ink. I think I did I was playing earlier. Let's see if I can, oh, I think I threw that one away. It was just, looked like polka dots of different colors. And now I'm just going to kind of come in and swirl this all together. All right. And now I'm going to add to the same block orange. This is sunset orange. And you don't need a lot, just a few drops will do it. And right now I'm just going to kind of dot it and then come in and swirl. Blending the two colors together makes it brighter. And you can just leave some dots, but let's do that. I'll take some of this and we'll just do a polka dot here, 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 and here. And then I'll take in some more of this honeycomb, which is a darker yellow, and do that. And it's okay if I got some down here. That's not a problem. And I'm just going to dot it around and make it look like a textured sky. And some of this will be coming up and onto the moon area or the sun, whether this is daylight. And that's how it's going to look. I'm going to get my blue back on here just to see if I can smooth out that polka dot. And I'm going to use the sailboat blue again. And if you can't, just take a little bit of your blending solution or rubbing alcohol. Put that on there. And just come in a little bit. And it'll just tone it down slightly as it blends the color out and makes it lighter. And that I'm just going to cover that up with a dot, like a rhinestone or something. Okay, now this is pretty much dry already. If you had taken your inks and just daubed them on and daubed them on and daubed them on, or covered it with blending solution and then daubed it on, it takes a little bit longer to dry, but this is dry already. All right. That's going to be a nice bright card, I think. And I'm just going to take a little bit of a wet one here just to get off. When I opened my bottles, I hadn't used these in a while and they were like crusty shut, so I had to open them up. And let's just take these and pitch them. I suppose you could wash them if you wanted to, but it's just craft felt. I get it really inexpensively. Okay. Now to do some stamping on here. And I think my fingers will be okay. Get my stamping platform where you can see it. And I'm going to put this in. Now this will be pretty darn sticky. The alcohol ink and the photo paper will make it want to stick to your rubber stamp. So I just kind of wet that background down to hold it down a little bit better. And I'm going to come in and I want these trees. Now you need to ink your background with your alcohol inks first, because if you don't, your ink will just smear. This is what I'm saying. It will stick. So you just gently peel it apart. If you pull too hard, it will pull the coating off of your photo paper. but you can just cover it back up with ink. So it really, you can't mess it up. And I'm just using VersaFine Clear Nocturne because this doesn't react with the alcohol inks. And it will take a couple of stampings. Gently. And see, when you first do it, it looks splotchy, which is kind of a cool effect if that's what you're going for. You just need to put a couple of layers on top of your alcohol ink. I guess splotchy isn't the word. I'm thinking more rustic or weathered. That would be how it looks if you just do one coat. And I'm going to do several coats. You could use Stays-On ink. That works really well for glossy surfaces. See how that's coming out nicely now. Just takes a few good coats. And I love using up this scrap photo paper. I have tons in this is a good use for them because it's a glossy cardstock. And even putting the alcohol ink, it still is shiny and glossy. I'm going to take the same trees and move them over here, but I'm going to go up a little bit so that they're a little taller in the sky. And I'll slide it in just a hair. There we go. And again, it will stick. Pull gently. All right, and I'll do the same over here that I did over there. And my stamp does have a little, I don't know if it's a hair that's stuck on it. I can see it right here. There's a streak across. So let's see, that would be these two trees. No, it just might be a defect in the stamp. That's okay, I can fill that in with a Sharpie marker. I'll see if it has the same defect on this side. And I think one more. And now I must have got the hair off. So while I'm thinking of it, I'm just going to get my Sharpie here. Oh, let's see. And I'm just going to color in. Same color as the ink, so. All right, that looks good. Clean this stamp off now. Okay, now I want to put a deer on here, and I think this, the tall state, let's go with this one. And then I'm going to add in a couple of trees at the base here. And I'll put a couple of trees here and there. I'll bring that one down, move that one up. And again, peel off. Gently, gently, gently. All right. Now, ink these three up. If you don't have the plain alcohol inks, you can do this with your alcohol ink markers. You can do it with Sharpie pens because they are alcohol ink. You might just need to use either rubbing alcohol or the alcohol blending solution. to get them smooth. Just take several coats. And what a great use of paper that would otherwise be thrown away. Right. And just the trees, I think, need a little bit more ink. And again, this one looks like it has a little defect in it. And I can kind of see it on the tree itself. It looks like it has little scratches. There, that looks good. Okay. Now I'm just going to set this aside and I'll show you how it looks up close. Look at how glossy that is. How beautiful. Now this, I may end up cutting that off because I am going to trim this down. But if not, I can cover that up with something. But look at that sky. So this could be a night sky or an early morning sky. Let's take these off. And I'm just going to let that dry before I die cut out the frame. That's the deer. Right. Now, I have a piece of scrap. I did have a piece of scrap cardstock. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use that inner frame to stamp my happy birthday on. And then I'll just cut out the center. And I'm just going to stamp that sideways. Pick that up. And I'll stamp that, one or two more times. That is good. Now I'll just clean off my stamp. Put the stamp away and then die cut this out and that frame. And our card is pretty much completed other than putting it together. So now I just need to die cut for this. And happy birthday. Nope, that's not it. That's not it. Or is it? No. That's definitely not it. I have the right ones, do I not? Is there one missing? There's one missing. I'm going to have to put you on pause while I find that die cut. Hold on. Okay, I found it. All right, so let's get that one done first. It had fallen out and slipped under the computer. I'm going to die cut that one. Oh, isn't that pretty? I love how these dies are just so detailed. Okay, now I want to cut this down. And to cut out the larger pieces, I used the Waffle Flower A7 Master Set. Now I'm using the Waffle Flower 5x7 Lacy Layer. I just want to get this. I want to have some of that sun in there. And that looks good. That's where I'm going to cut this front down to. Now, I may need to manually trim this because I cut into my magnetic mat, sometimes with this thicker paper, it still stays attached. It's kind of like an old-fashioned paper doll. And you just kind of like get your scissors in there and it'll come right off. Just like that. I prefer to cut into my magic mat. It cut, not my magic mat, my magnetic mat that came with the anaglyphic machine. It just does a nice cut. Sometimes it needs a little bit of a help, and I'm okay with that. All right. Okay, well, let me put this card together. Okay, I got the card front. Then I have these two pieces are going to go together. So I'm going to glue these down. Okay. And then this piece is going to go right inside there, just like that. I just thought when I had it down on the plain dark, it was, I thought it would be too dark, and that would be okay for like a sympathy card. But since I wanted this to be a birthday card, I didn't want it to be too dark and foreboding. Unless you're giving it to someone who has a dark and foreboding outlook on life, then that might be okay. Now this piece, I'm going to pop up a little bit, so I'm going to use my foam tape. And I'm just going to put strips like this, 4 strips. All right. I've had these alcohol inks for, I didn't even know there's a date on them. I've had them for quite a while. I used to do ceramic coasters that I used alcohol inks to decorate them with, and then I covered them like with a poly glaze or a varnish kind of thing. But I haven't done those in 9-10 years. So I've had them for a while, and they last. Now this I want to get as centered on the card, and I put a little bit of liquid glue on there just to give me a little wiggle room for if I don't get this straight the first time. Okay, now I have the birthday sentiment and decide where I want it. Do I want it over here covering up that little dot? No, I don't think so. Up here? No. I want it over here. And I'm going to use some foam strips. Just pop this up a little. These are 1/8 of an inch tall, if not less. They're not very tall in height. I had thought I was going to use my circles, but my circles are larger than this die cut pieces are. Pardon for the throat clearing. I think I'm finally heading into the final run of getting rid of all of the illnesses I've had since the beginning of November. All right, now just a little bit more bling. It doesn't need a lot of bling because that thing is shiny. But I do want to add a little something. I have clear, or I have more of a golden. And then, of course, I have my plain old rhinestones. I don't think I want to go with the plain rhinestones. That's a pink one. I don't even know where that one came from. Let's try a few of the clear on here. And I see I've got some more streaks. So I'm just going to get my Sharpie and cover up. Or I must have scratched it. Okay, that looks good. Okay, this is what the clear would look like on here. And while that's okay, let me see what the golden. My sister-in-law got these little bags for me, and I really like them. I put gold. Yeah, that one covers that up. Let's put a little bit bigger one down there. Nope, just the medium-sized one. Okay, and put just a few little of the tiniest ones on here, maybe. Yep. Ideally, you would let your alcohol ink dry overnight if you could, or a couple hours at minimum. Yeah, I'm just going to put a couple of these so that they kind of look like sparkling sunlight reflecting. I don't want that big one. I want to put that one down here just to cover up that spot a little bit. And one more tiny one, I think, over here. Right there. Move that one up here. And that one down there. Yep, that looks good. So now I'll get just a little drops of glue on here. There we go. Just 5 drops on there. Stainless steel pen is working great since I lost the cap to my bottle. And now I just need my wax pickup tool, which I am not seeing. It's supposed to be right there in that basket, and it is not in that basket. So let me use just some tweezers. I want my angled tweezers, and I don't find those either, so let's just use what nature provided. And I don't have very many nails anymore, so slide that off and drop it down. I'm going to wet my finger. Let's see if that helps. Nope, not really. All right. Pickup tool, where are you? You're not on my desk. Definitely not. Let's see if my sister-in-law's is right here. I don't even see hers. It looks like the pickup tool ghost was down here in the basement and took my pickup tools. Wednesday nights we craft down in here, so we each have our own workstation. And what I can't find on my station, I can often find on one of my friends or my sister-in-law's. All right. Get this one on and I'll be good to go. Okay. All right, that is my card for today. Using alcohol inks and photo paper. And I think that really made a nice, oh, there's the next one, a nice masculine birthday card. Or for anyone who likes deer. It doesn't have to be masculine. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great rest of your day.